Matt McGraw. Matt McGraw. Let's bring him out here.
Is it coming over? Hello. Okay. Well, folks, you know, this past Wednesday was Veterans Day. Used to be Armistice Day, and then somewhere around 1954, they changed it Veterans Day to honor all the veterans. And that goes for men and women both. So this is what, we're going to do some songs dedicated for the veterans. I take my hat off to all you veterans out there, and thank you very much. Give them a good hand of applause. That's it. We need to remember the veterans walking away. All this music talent that's been up here, I'll tell you, I hope I can do some justice along with them. They're really good. So we're going to start off this first song about a fella by the name of Private Lee. I don't know, you know, whether it's a fictitious name or not. There were a lot of songs written for real people. Private Wilson White, Roger Young, Ernie Pyle, I guess, a lot of them. This one is about a fellow who used to carry an old guitar around with him all through the war. I hope you like it, but unfortunately it ends tragically like all war songs, you know, nothing happy about a war. Hey, kick off a tune, Private Lee, put that guitar on your knee, sing us a song about the hills of home. While we keep marching on. When we marched into Italy back in World War II, we hadn't shaved for a month or more and a 6 paycheck were due. With a full field pack upon our back and a rifle 4 feet long, but a country boy from Tennessee brought an old guitar along. And you know, every time there was a break in the fighting, some GI would stick his head up out of the foxhole and say, "Hey, kick off a tune, Private Lee, put that guitar on your knee, sing us a song about the hills of home." While we keep marching on, we'd march all day, and at the end of the line you could hear the sergeant roar, "Private Lee's a-picking that old guitar, we're trying to win the war." But there wasn't a man in our outfit who wouldn't stop to hear him sing. When the pipe cooled down, we'd listen for the sound of that old guitar to ring. And you know, some GI was just bound to lay down his rifle.
Are you looking for it?
Kind of lay back on his back and say, "Hey, kick off a tune, Private Lee, put that guitar on your knee, sing us a song about the hills of home."
That takes a lot because you got to have talent.
While we keep marching on.
Okay.
At the end of the mighty battle, when the shells began to cease, we missed the sound of that old guitar, so we looked for Private Lee. We found him there on the side of the mountain, where he'd saved 1,000 men. And there beside him lay that old guitar that he'd never play again. Well, the captain joined in with the rest of the men, and we made a cross of wood. With pieces we found of his old guitar, why, we did the best we could. We left him where we found him, but his memory will remain of how he picked that old guitar and the way we'd hear him sing. Hey, kick off a tune, Private Lee, put that guitar on your knee, sing us a song about the hills of home. While we keep marching on, while we keep marching on. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, the boys wanted privately to sing a song about home. And that's one thing, you know, when you're in the military and no matter where you are, I don't care what service, you're a long way from home and you think a lot about home. You love to get mail from home and all that. This next song, I'm going to go back to a war a lot of us seem to forget about. Going back to the Confederate War. You know, the boys of the South, they fought for what they believed in. They were fighting for their homeland at the time. And this fella here, he's dying in a northern Yankee camp. And that's what he's thinking about. He's thinking about home. He's wanting to know if his soul will pass through his homeland. In a northern Yankee prison, a rebel soldier lay. There beside him stood a preacher as the soldier passed away. And he faintly whispered, "Parson," as he clutched him by the hand. "Oh, Parson, tell me quickly, will my soul pass through the Southland?" Will my soul pass through the Southland, through old Virginia grand? Will I see the hills of Georgia and the green fields of Alabama? Will I see that little church house where I pledged my heart and hand? Oh, Parson, tell me quickly, will my soul pass through the Southland? All for loving dear old Dixie in this prison cell of my life. All for loving dear old Dixie in this northern state I die. Will you see my little daughter? Will you help her understand? Oh, Parson, tell me quickly, will my soul pass through the Southland? Will my soul pass through the Southland, through old Virginia grand? Will I see the hills of Georgia and the green fields of Alabama? Will I see that little church house where I pledged my heart and hand? Oh, Parson, tell me quickly, will my soul pass through the Southland? And then the rebel soldier died. The rebel soldier. Okay, next song, I'm going to sing about a little spit of an island out there in the Pacific Ocean somewhere. And we had 60,000 Marines go in there on February 19, 1945. 60,000 Marines, 23,000 were either killed or wounded. The Japanese had something like 22,000 people defending the island. 1,000 of them survived. And talking about the island of Iwo Jima, we had 6 men help raise a flag on that island. 3 of them were killed in action. 2 of them came home and lived a fairly full life, but then they died. And the last one is the subject of my song. He came home, he survived the battle, but he never survived the memory. He died as an alcoholic somewhere around the age of 32 or 33. Lived a short life. In a few short minutes, I'm going to tell you the story of his life. Ira Hayes. people. They're the story I will tell about a brave young Indian you should remember well. From a tribe of the Pima Indians, a proud and peaceful band who formed the Phoenix Valley out in Arizona land. Down their ditches for 1,000 years the sparkling waters rushed, till the white man stole their water rights and the running waters hushed. Now Ira's folks were hungry, their land grew crops of weeds, but when war came he volunteered and forgot the white man's greed. Fallen drunk and Ira pays, he won't answer anymore. Not the whiskey drinking Indian nor the Marine who went to war. They battle up Iwo Jima Hill, 250 men. Only 27 lived to walk back down again. And when the fight was over, and oh glory it was raised, among the men who held it high was the Indian, Ira Hayes. Oh, I'm drunk and Ira Hayes, he won't answer anymore. Not the whiskey drinking Indian, nor the Marine who went to war. Ira Hayes returned a hero, celebrated through the land. He was wined in speech and honored. Why, everybody shook his hand. But he was just a Pima Indian. No water, no crops, no chance. Back home no one cared what Ira done. And when did the Indians dance? And Ira took to drinking hard. Jail often was his home. They'd let him raise the flag and lower it like he'd throw a dog a bone. He died drunk early one morning, alone in a land he fought to save. 2 inches of water in a muddy ditch was the grave of Ira Hayes. Oh, I'm drunk and Ira Hayes, he won't answer anymore. Not the whiskey drinking Indian, nor the Marine who went to war. Yeah, go ahead and call him drunken Ira Hayes. But his land is just as dry, and his ghost is lying thirsty in a grave where Ira died. Call him drunken Ira Hayes, he won't answer anymore. Not the whiskey drinking Indian, nor the Marine who went to war. Come up and give me a little backup here music. Paul and I did a little thing on Tuesday at the Muncie Fire Social Hall. It was a Veterans Day observance. The Senior Center, Tri-Town Senior Center put it on. And we had a lot of veterans there. And Paul was in his World War II outfit, still wearing his World War II uniform. And I know that he really enjoyed doing it, and I believe the people liked it too. Here he is. Here's Paul. And Paul is a World War II veteran and seen a lot of action and everything, so he enjoys doing these kinds of songs. Paul, how about if you'll give me a nice good lead in? There's a lot of places during World War II that got bombed and everything, and they've made songs about it. We'd like to do this one called the White Cliffs of Dover. Paul will play part of it, and then after he gets done, I'll sing it, and then he'll play.
This is going to be good. They did Tuesday. They did Tuesday up in Muncie. Did they?
Tomorrow, when the world is free, there'll be peace and laughter and love ever after. Tomorrow, just you wait and see. The shepherd will tend his sheep, the valley will bloom again, and Jimmy will go to sleep in his own little room again. There'll be bluebirds over the white cliffs of Dover. Tomorrow, just you wait and see. Oh, Paul. We'll have Paul play the Battle Hymn of the Republic. Okay, here's one here. Paul will back me up on this one. I think Merle Haggard had it out there. Called The Fighting Side of Me. I hear people talking bad about the way they have to live here in this country. Talking about the wars we fight, griping about the way things ought to be. Well, I don't mind them switching sides and standing up for something they believe in. When they're running down our country, man, they're walking on the fighting side of me. You're walking on the fighting side of me. Running down the way of life, our fighting men have fought and died to keep. If you don't love it, leave it. Let this song that I'm singing be a warning. When you're running down our country horse, you're walking on the fighting side of me. I read about some squirrely guy who says that he just don't believe in fighting. And I wonder just how long the rest of us can count on being free. and honey, but they preach about another way of living. When they're running down our country, man, they're walking on the fighting side of me. They're walking on the fighting side of me. Running down a way of life or fighting men have fought and died to keep. If you don't love it, leave it. But this song that I'm singing be a warning. When you're running down our country horse, you're walking on the fighting side of me. You're walking on the fighting side of me. Running down a way of life or fighting men have fought and died to keep. If you don't love it, leave it. But this song that I'm singing be a warning. When you're running down our country horse, you're walking on the fighting side of me. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. We're just going to do one more. Maybe two, but we'll see here. This next song, I worked, just very recently trying to learn it. Statler Brothers do it, and of course, we're just never going to be as good as the Statler Brothers on it. But it's about the wall, the Vietnam Memorial Wall, and the men and women of Vietnam. I know it was a real bad time. I watched television the other night, the memorials there. There was over 265,000 women that were in that Vietnam era. So, I'm going to do this one, his name on the wall. I saw her from a distance as she walked up to the wall. In her hand she held some flowers as the tears began to fall. She took out pen and paper and she traced her memory. She looked up toward heaven. The words that she said were these. She said, Lord, my boy was special, and he meant so much to me. And you know I'd love to see him just one more time for me. But I thank you for the memories and the moments to recall. And Lord, would you tell him he's more than a name on a wall. 4 years he'd missed the family, being home on Christmas Day. He died for God and country in a land so far away. I remember just a little boy playing war since he'd been free. But Lord, this time I know he's not coming home to me. She said, Lord, my boy was special, and he meant so much to me. And you know I'd love to see him, but I know that just can't be. And I thank you for the memories and the moments to recall. And Lord, would you tell him he's more than a name on a wall? Yes, Lord, would you tell him he's more than a name on a wall? All right. Okay, we're going to do a short one here. This, I know a lot of bluegrass players around here. So I'll sing one that has a bluegrass in it at least. The moon was brightly shining on an old Kentucky home. The fragrance of magnolias filled the air. A lonely gal was writing to her sweetheart across the phone. May God protect you, darling, over there. Silver dew on the bluegrass tonight. How it shines by the moon's silvery light. Close your eyes and think of me, and my darling, you will see silver dew on the bluegrass tonight. Stars of gold on the old flag tonight. While I pray you come safe through the fight. You must keep that flag on high for the boys who had to die. Silver dew on the bluegrass tonight. Silver dew on the bluegrass tonight. How it shines by the moon's silvery light. Close your eyes and think of me, and my darling, you will see silver dew on the bluegrass tonight. Hey. Okay, we're going to get out of here. Thank you, folks. Thank you for putting up with us.
Thank you. One more big round of applause for a job well done, I folks. Very well done.